හොඳයි එහෙනම් සියලුම දෙනාටම අයබෝවන් අද ටිකක් අපි වෙනස් විදිහේ වැඩක් කරන්න යන්නේ පොඩි ප්‍රශ්නයක් තියෙන්නේ previous laterally inverted. Okay, this is our new program, so we are going to do questionnaire. That means we are going to revise a lesson with as a stream of questions. Okay, so first of all, I like to commence this questionnaire, this online streaming, with our systems, body systems, and you have another 4 weeks, I think, altogether. So because you have to face this oral exam, but now I'm going to increase this whole duration with daily days. Okay, so we have altogether 50 days. Then usually at the weekend, if we do this class, we have only for 8 days. But now you can increase that up to 50 because every day we are going to do a class. කීපදෙක් කියනනම් පුතේ අපි සාමාන්‍යයෙන් මෙච්චරකල් ක්ලාස් කළේ සතියට ක්ලාස් එකයි නැත්නම් සතියකට ක්ලාස් දෙකක් විතර. ඉතින් අපි පේපර් ක්ලාස් දෙකක් කළා. හරි? පහුගිය දිගේ purposely classes කළේ නැහැ. පහුගිය ටිකේ කළේ නැහැ classes. හැබැයි අපි රිවිෂන් ක්ලාස් එක කළා. හැමෝටම ඒ paid class එකට සහභාගී වෙන්නත් chance එක දුන්නා free of charge. Because of the assistance of that paying students. Okay. එහෙනම් මේම අපේ ප්‍රෝග්‍රෑම් එක. අද අපි systems revise කරනවා එක්සෑම් එක ළඟ හින්දා. හරි? මම මේ ඔයගොල්ලන්ගේ ඔළුවට යන විදියට ආයෙ පාඩම් කරන්න ඕනේ නැති වෙන්න මේක කියලා දෙනවා. Another thing, daily I'm doing a 1 hour program. හැමදාම පැයක ප්‍රශ්න සාකච්ඡාවක්. මේ කියන්නේ අඟහරුවාදා සහ බ්‍රහස්පතින්දා Tuesday Thursday මෙන්න මේ දවස් දෙකේ තියෙන අර ඇය දෙකේ පන්තියට අමතරව. Okay, in addition to that I am going to do this. Okay, එහෙනම් පුතාලා පොඩ්ඩක් link එක share පාරක් දාලා කට්ටියට දැනුවත් කරන්න. No matter, so you can rewind this and see how we started this and you can do so. Okay, good. Let's start. So first of all, I'm going to make you study these things. So this is excretory system. Okay, excretory system. Okay, good. So first of all, we have to know what's not to be the excretion. Okay, so we have to know this. Okay, another thing, so there are two typical diagrams that come across in previous exams. So that's this the urinary system diagram. Okay, so this is what we call that aorta. Okay, and there's parallel another blood vessel, so that's the vein. Okay, so usually we draw that with this blue color. It's a vein. Okay, so this is the vein that brings blood from downward parts. Okay, from down to up. So this vein is known as what? So we call it inferior vena cava. Okay, so this brings blood, deoxygenated blood from downward parts from so lower organs. So this is that. So and the blood is taken up. So this is the usual diagram you come across. And here's two kidneys. Okay, here's two kidneys. Okay. So this is the aorta. Okay, when we draw this aorta, it comes down. Okay, when drawing the heart එක අඳිනකොට ඔයගොල්ලන්ට මතක ඇති. So this is the outer shape of the heart. හරි? මතක නෑ අර පූසෙක්කේම අර වකුටු වෙලා මොකද්ද කරන අවස්ථාවක පොටේ එකක් ගහලා කට්ටිය ෂෙයා කරලා තිබ්බේ මේ මොකද්ද හදවත පූසාකාරයි කියලා පුතෙක් ළඟදී උක අහලා තිබ්බා 11 මොකද මට තේරෙන්නේ නැහැ. So this is the outer shape and you can observe this aorta. Okay, so this is the aorta. It comes down. So aorta comes down. Okay, um, or systemic artery. So for the supplying of blood to the upper part of the body, so you can observe these arteries, main arteries, and so this is pulmonary artery, left and right. Okay, so this is inferior vena cava. So that's inferior vena cava. Inferior. So this is superior vena cava. So what is this is what this is inferior vena cava. So this is directly associated with this inferior vena cava. Okay, so these two kidneys, and so this is how it exists in your body, the left side and the right side. Therefore this is left kidney. Okay, left, and this is right kidney. So the produced or filtered urine is taken out by these ureters. Okay, so that's ureters. The bean-shaped structure is here. Ureters. Two other pair of ureters there. So these are the components of this urinary system. So, and this is urethra. Okay, so in this typical diagram you have to name the parts of that. Okay, so what's this? A. And what's this? That's B. Okay, I'll write the simple B. Okay, so what's this? What's this? So that's simple C. And what is this artery? That's D. Okay, simple D. I think that's clear for you. Okay, we can. That's okay. Good. So C D. So this one is E. I deactivated that comment section. The live chat I can on, but the problem is so this is recorded. When live chat is switched on, the usual thing is if somebody type fill the word, so that's appear to all. ඒක හරි නරකයි මේ අපේ සහෝදර ගුරුවරයෙකුට මේ ළඟදී ඒ වගේ වැඩක් වුණා. ඒකද මම chat off කරලා තියෙන no matter. So let's name these things. So you can see, so these are the main structures and these ureters. Okay, so that's C. So this is E, L, that means left. Okay, left. So this is right kidney, left kidney. Okay, now name the parts. So what this A? What's known to be A? So A is the artery that supply blood to all the downward organelles. Okay, all the down organelles. මේ පහළ තියෙන organs ඔක්කොටම sorry organs ඔක්කොටම blood supply කරන artery එක තමයි මේ තියෙන්නේ. ඉතින් එයා heart එක මේ ළඟපාත නැතුවට එයා කවුද? So we know that that is this aorta. මෙයාම තමයි පල්ලෙහාට එන්නේ. මෙහා පැත්තෙන් කරගිලා එනවා. Okay, so that's aorta. Okay, so this kidneys, so we give a name for that, so that's adjective renal. Okay, so that's renal. So renal means kidney. So it is divided, this aorta is divided into two and it supply blood to these kidneys, so we call them, D is for renal artery. So D is for what? Renal artery. Okay, so D is renal artery. So this is not to take down or take print screen. So that's renal artery. And here's another renal artery. So that's for the left renal artery. So this is right renal artery. And after the filtration process, this blood is taken out. So that definitely vein. So we call that renal vein. Okay, renal vein. Good. So this is the outer structure of this urinary system. So next one, see D. Next E. So this is what? Urinary bladder. So that's temporary. Stop produce urine over here. Okay, so that's the basic thing. So that's so easy because you have learned these things in grade 8 also. Okay. Next, I'll erase this. Cross section. We have to name the cross section of this kidney, and I'll draw one like this. So you can observe two regions of this kidney. So what are those two regions? Those two regions are known to be that medulla and cortex. Medulla and cortex. Okay, so this somewhat round shape, I'll draw it somewhat smaller, then we can name the parts. Okay, so this is the real shape of kidney, that's bean shape. So this is what? This is ureters. And in the cross section of this, so this is longitudinal section, we can observe renal pyramid. So these are called renal pyramids. Okay. And so this can be divided into two regions. So this outer region is known as cortex. So that's known as cortex. And this inner part is known as medulla. So they're somewhat light in colors, and this is dark color. So this is medulla. So this renal pyramid and the produced urine is taken over here. Okay, so this is the calyx. So where this produced urine is collected here, and it is sent through these ureters and temporarily stored in this urinary bladder. Okay, so another important thing. So this is this is the capsule. We call that capsule. Okay, so this is the longitudinal section of this kidney. Okay, so you can see structures like this. So what are they? Tubular structures. Okay, tubular structures that brings produced urine in this space, into this space. Okay, so this is produced urine, imagine like that. And from where it is produced, so we have to know the functional unit of this kidney. Okay, so functional unit of the kidney is what? So that is nephron. Okay, so that is nephron. So these are the typical diagrams that will be appeared in your exam. ඉතින් ඔගොල්ලන්ගේ විභාගවලට මේ කොටස් වලින් ප්‍රශ්න එනවා මේවා නම් කරන්න එනවා. So you must be familiar to name these parts. Good. I'll erase that. The most important thing is how blood is filtered here. So what are the things to be filtered? How blood is filtered and what are the things to be filtered? මොනවද මේ පෙරෙන්ඩ ඕන දේවල්? What are the things to be filtered? So you can first, the constituents of the blood. Blood constituents. What are the constituents in blood? Okay, so you have to list them down. Actually, blood consists two major parts. Around 65% of blood is, so 55% blood is, so blood plasma. Okay, so the rest of the part, so very little amount, so that blood corpuscles. Okay, blood corpuscles exist. මොනවද මේ blood corpuscles කියලා කියන්නේ? Red blood cells, white blood cells, and platelets. So that's solid part. The rest of the thing is known to be that plasma. So blood plasma consists what? මේ blood plasma එකේ අපේ metabolic activities වලට ඕන දේවලුත් තියෙනවා. ඒ වගේම metabolic activities වලින් produce කරන unwanted දේවලුත් තියෙනවා. Okay, so you already know what's known to be metabolism. Okay, metabolism is of two types, so that's anabolism and catabolism. So whatever the type of anabolism and catabolism, making anabolic reaction, catabolic reaction කියන මේ ඕනෑම වර්ගයක metabolic reaction එකකින් මොනවද නිපදවෙන්නේ? So unwanted products are produced. Unwanted products are produced. So we have to know both required products, the essential products, as well as these unwanted products produced in the metabolic activities. Okay, so whatever it is, the important thing as well as unwanted things exist in this blood plasma. අවශ්‍ය දේ සහ අවශ්‍ය නොවන දේ කියන සියල්ලම කොහෙද තියෙන්නේ? blood plasma එකේ. එහෙනම් අපි ඔක්කොම list එකක් හදමු. Okay, so some of you like to learn these things as a lesson. So students, try to take them down. Okay, take down constituents of blood plasma. Okay, major constituent is water. Okay, that's around 92% water exists. Okay, end products of the food digestion. So next one is end products of the food digestion. End products of the food digestion. End products of the food digestion. Okay, what are the end products of the food digestion? So you can see that from carbohydrates, so end product is glucose. From lipids, end product is fatty acids, fatty acids, and glycerols. Fatty acids and glycerols. Okay, next thing. From proteins, after the digestion, the end product is amino acids. End product is amino acids. So vitamins, essential ions, and minerals. So next thing you can write, so these essential ions, essential ions. Okay, essential salts. So what are the other things? Tavatino. Dissolved gases, dissolved gases. So you can see these, all these things are important. So dissolved gases, O2, a little amount is dissolved. The major amount of this oxygen is with as oxyhemoglobin bonded with that hemoglobin molecules that exist in erythrocytes or the red blood cells. Okay, so oxygen and nitrogen in two, and carbon dioxide as bicarbonate ions dissolved in plasma. Okay, so these are the essential salts. So there are lots of salts required for the body function. Okay, essential ions, so that's sodium and potassium K plus, calcium Ca2 plus. So these are the ions that exist in blood plasma. Okay, so they are very important. So this lesson is what? The lesson is excretion. Therefore, not only the important thing required for this body function, but also produced unwanted things from these metabolic activities are also exist in this blood plasma. ඒ විතරක් නෙමෙයි මේ blood වල තියෙන අත්‍යවශ්‍ය දේවල් වගේම අනවශ්‍ය දේවල්, things to be removed. So what are them? Excretory products. Excretory products. Okay. So what are the excretory products? So these main nitrogenous excretory products are urea, uric acid, creatine, okay, and creatinine. Okay, so these excretory products, urea, uric acid, creatine, creatinine. So these are the nitrogenous excretory products to be removed from the body. අපි ශරීරයෙන් ඉවත් කළ යුතු දේවල් තමයි මේ තියෙන්නේ. Okay, so let's take down these things. I think some of you are writing this. So this is how we quickly cover up all the things we have already crammed. මේ වෙනකොට පාඩම් කරලා අපි දෙතුන් වතාවක් අවසන් කරලා තියෙන දේවල් quickly scan කරන්න යන්න තමයි අපි මේ හදන්නේ. මොකද පාඩමක් වශයෙන් මේක හිමීට කරන්න බෑ. We have limited time. Okay, so in this blood plasma, by the name, very important, three types of proteins exist. So what are they? So they are very essential and bigger molecules. What are those bigger molecules that are essential? So that's plasma proteins. That's not excretory product. Okay, plasma proteins. So write it here. Next type is plasma proteins. So what are the plasma proteins that exist in blood plasma? So albumin, globulin, and fibrinogen. So write those plasma proteins: albumin, next globulin, and fibrinogen. Albumin, globulin, and fibrinogen. So these plasma proteins exist in blood plasma. Okay. For the filtration of these unwanted things, what we require? We require excretory organs or excretory systems. So our body consists three types of excretory organs. So one is skin. එකක් තමයි මේ අපේ සම skin. It releases unwanted things. So that product is called sweat. Okay. And another excretory product. So that's carbon dioxide. This carbon dioxide is released from the body. So that also a result of these metabolic activities. මේකත් මේ metabolic activities වල result එකක්. නේද? So what's that metabolic activity? It's the main metabolic activity. So that's not a catabolic reaction. So yes, that's a catabolic reaction because it breaks that glucose molecule and produce energy. So the metabolic activity, so that produces energy in a living cell. We call that cellular respiration. So that's a main metabolic activity, and unwanted product is produced in this metabolic activity. So what's that unwanted product? Respiration කියන metabolic activity එකේදී නිපද වෙන unwanted product එක නැත්නම් excretory product එක තමයි carbon dioxide as well as water vapor. So they are removed from the body. මෙන්න මේ කියන ඒවා අපේ body එකෙන් remove කරනවා. So that's removed from the body. Okay. So it is removed from the lungs by our respiratory system. Okay. So therefore there are three. One is skin. So it produces sweat. Another one, lungs. Okay, it produces unwanted, unnecessary thing. So that's carbon dioxide as well as water vapor. So that released from the body. But major nitrogenous excretory system of the body is, so that's kidney. Okay, so kidney. I think this is not clear, but you can clearly hear my voice. So that's kidney. Okay. The main products of that, so this is carbon dioxide, here sweat, so here urine. හරි මුත්‍රා නිපදවීම සිද්ධ වෙනවා. හරි ඉතින් මේ මුත්‍රාවල නැත්තම් මේ යූරින් වල අන්තර්ගත වෙලා තියෙන්නේ මොනවද? Excretory products විදිහට urea, uric acid, creatine, creatinine, and excess water also removed. Okay, good. Let's discuss what are the things that happens in a kidney. So this is the kidney, and blood is given to that. So it is subjected to a certain filtration process and comes out as pure blood without excretory product. So that's the whole process. Okay, so we have already discussed this. Now I am going to explain you some major functional unit that exist in kidney that's important for filtration process. Okay, let's see. Functional unit of the kidney. So what's it? What is the functional unit of the kidney? Okay, kidney වල තියෙන functional unit එක මොකක්ද? So we call that nephron. So that's nephron. Okay, it's nephron. So where these nephrons are located in the kidney? How many nephrons exist? So you know these things. So what I do here is just explain. Okay, just to remind you. මේ රිමයින්ඩර් පාරක් තමයි දාන්නේ මේ ඔයගලන්ට මතක් කරන එකක් තමයි කරන්නේ. ඇත්තටම කියනවා මේ පාඩම් කරන්න උදව්වක් තමයි කරන්නේ. මේක බොහෝම නිවාඩුව අපි පේපර් ක්ලාස් එකත් ලස්සනට මේ කොටස් මේ විදිහටම කරලා තියෙනවා. හරි අපි බලමු එහෙනම්. So where this nephron exists? So this is a kidney. Okay. This is the outer region. We call that cortex, and the inner region we call that medulla. So here you can observe renal pyramids. So they are known as renal pyramids. So finally it is open to this area. So urine is open to here. So you can observe a tubules, tube-like structures here, as well as blood filtering unit or the functional unit nephrons exist so in this region. මෙන්න මේ cortex කියන region එකේ තියෙනවා nephrons. So it is combined with these tubules that is directed to this pelvis region. Okay. එහෙනම් අපි මෙන්න මේ කියන මේ tubules ගැන තමයි ඉගෙන ගන්න යන්නේ. So how it functions, කොහොමද එයා ක්‍රියාත්මක වෙන්නේ, and what are the parts of that and how it functions we have to learn. Okay, so nephron, so that's how it exists. Nephron consists a cup-shaped structure. Okay. So we call this what? This is known as the Bowman's capsule. It's known as the Bowman's capsule, and you can observe this convoluted tubule here. Okay, convoluted tubule, and here the loop of Henle. Loop of Henle exists. Okay, descending arm. So this is the ascending arm, and again convoluted tubule. Okay, then it is collected. Produced urine is collected here. We call that collecting duct. I think you remember that tubules, set of tubules that's open to that pelvis in renal pyramid like this. Okay, so there was tubules like this. So that is this collecting tubule. Good. This Bowman capsule part, so that exists in the cortex as I explained you earlier. Okay, now you have to know this is a blood vessel made by the combination of blood veins to bring this that means filtered blood towards the heart. So that's a vein. Okay, so therefore I color it with blue. Okay, so this is vein. Actually, this is a venule, and there's another one, artery. Artery here. So this is the artery. So artery is divided into arterioles. This artery is divided into arteriole. Look at this. It comes. So this red color is not much clear. Therefore, I use the black. Okay. So this blood brings from the heart enters into this Bowman's capsule and it highly convoluted as well as it make a dense a network of that means a capillary network inside this and then it comes out like this. Okay, both are arteries. So this artery comes towards the Bowman capsule. මෙන්න මේ artery එක Bowman capsule එක පැත්තට තමයි එන්නේ. Okay, so we call that NA that comes due to apection. කවුහරි NA apection එකට. Therefore, it is known as the afferent arteriole. It is known as the apparent arteriole. Apparent arteriole. So next one is we call this so that's apparent arteriole. So afferent arteriole. Okay. So this apparent arteriole comes down like here. Again, it makes a network of capillaries. Okay. So that's a dense network of capillaries. And they are combined to form a vein so that all the veins combine here and make a single vein. Okay, single vein is produced and it comes like this. And produce this vein. So this is known as uh, renal venule. Okay, so this is arteriole. Okay, what happens here? So we have to discuss. Okay, so total filtration process happens in three steps. So one is ultrafiltration. No matter you can send questions by the WhatsApp. Okay. Um, Can you please send me the video quality picture? පුතාලා පුළුවන් නම් මට කරන්නකෝ මේ print screen එකක් ගහලා quality බලන්න මට picture එකක්. Beam server, hurry up and actually this is the first day of my streaming. මට මේක interactive ගතියක් දැනෙන්නේ නැහැ කිසිම. හරි. live කුණුවරපයක් හරි අහගන්න මේ on කරන්න ඉතයි live chat එක. Yes, photos are coming. ඒක නම් මේ zoom වලට වැඩිය clear නේද? Good. Okay. Let's move ahead. Okay, this total filtration process happens in 3 steps. මේ filtration process එක පියවර තුනකින් වෙනවා. First one is ultra filtration. හරි. ඒ කොටස් ටික ඉගෙන ගන්න අපි මේකේ තියෙන කොටස් මොනවද අපි දැනගන්න. So what are the things to be named in exam? Okay. So these veins and arteries. So you have to know this very important artery. So that's apparent artery. So I write that as A. Okay, that's A. So this apparent arterial. So I'll put that as B. Okay, A and B. Apparent arterial. එපා වෙලා යනවා. Apparent arterial. So this is capillary network C. Okay, you can see this convoluted tubule here. So you have to know that's in closer. Okay, ළඟම තියෙන. මේකට සිංහලෙන් නම් කියනවා අවිදුර සංවලිත නාලිකාව කියලා. අවිදුර කියලා කියන්නේ අවියක දුර කියලා මතක තියාගන්න. So that's closer. Okay, so this is known as proximal convoluted tubule. Proximal. පුතාලගේ මොබයිල් ෆෝන් වල තියෙනව නේද proximity sensor එකක්. කනට ලං වෙද්දි ස්ක්‍රීන් එක ඔෆ් වෙනවා. ඒ කියන්නේ ළඟ proximal convoluted tubule. Proximal convoluted. At the distance, therefore, this is known as distal convoluted tubule. Okay, so what's this? Collecting tubule or collecting duct. Collecting tubule or collecting duct. Okay, so these major things you have to know. So what's this cup-shaped structure? This is very important. Cup-shaped structure. I'll use another color because all are confusing. What this cup-shaped structure? We call it Bowman's capsule. So that's Bowman's capsule. Okay, and inside that there's a capillary network. Okay, so that's thoroughly convoluted, highly convoluted. So it is known as glomerulus. It's known as what? Glomerulus. glomerulus. Okay, so that's glomerulus. Okay, so these are the main things you have to know. කොහොමද මේක filter වෙන්නේ? How it get filtered? So you have to know. පෙරිලා යන්නේ මොකද්ද? So what is filtered? පෙරිලා ගිය එකට කියනවා filtrate කියලා. So that's filtrate. Okay, as the residue, what exists here? So we have to know. Okay, so up to here, මෙන්න මෙතනට එනකම්. So in this A blood vessel consists all the constituents of blood. It consists all the constituents. That means earlier we learnt what are the constituents in blood plasma. අර කියන blood plasma එකේ තිබුණු හුඟක් දේවල් ඒකේ තියෙනවා. Okay, so all the things exist there, especially water. වතුර තියෙනවා. Okay, and end products of the food digestion exist. ආහාර ජීර්ණය අන්තඵල, end products of the food digestion. So next thing, essential ions, essential salts, dissolved minerals, dissolved ions. ඒ වගේම තියෙනවා අත්‍යවශ්‍ය නොවන දේවල්. මොනවද? යූරියා, uric acid, creatine, creatinine like excretory products උත් තියෙනවා. අර කලින් අපේ ලිස්ට් එකේ සඳහන් කරපු දේවල් මේකේ තියෙනවා. ඕවලින් කුඩා molecules, molecular level එක අඩුයි. There are some small molecules as well as huge molecules. Huge molecules are always that proteins and sometimes blood corpuscles. ඉතින් මෙන්න මේ glomerulus filter, glomerular filtrate එකට, ඒ කියන්නේ පෙරිලා මෙහෙම යන එකට මොනවද එකතු වෙන්නේ, මොනවද එකතු වෙන්නේ නැත්තේ? ඒක ටිකක් details ඉගෙන ගන්න ඕන නිසා අපි මේ බෝමාන් කැප්සියුල් එක ටිකක් ලොකුවට අඳිනවා. හරි. එතකොට අපි ඒ කොටස ඊළඟට ඉක්මනට ඉගෙන ගමු. හරි. එහෙනම් print screen එකක් ගහගන්න. මේක අද ඉවර කරා. මේක මතක් කරගත්ත ඔලුවට දාගත්ත අවසන් කරා. හරි. එතකොට මේක කොහොමද ඔලුවට දාගන්නේ, කොහොමද මේක මතක තියාගන්නේ කියන දේවල් මම ප්‍රැක්ටිස් කරවන්නම්. good. Okay, now I erase this. So this next day I'll explain you another system. හෙටත් එකක් තියෙනවා. එතකොට හෙට අපි වෙනත් සිස්ටම් එකක් අවසන් කරනවා මේ වගේ. හරි? හෙට මම කරන්න පැයයි. එතකොට සැටර්ඩේ අපේ ක්ලාස් එක තියෙනවා පැය 4ක්. නේද? 4 hour ක්ලාස් එක සාමාන්‍ය විදිහට රිවිෂන් එක තියෙනවා. So we can revise it again. Okay. Again, Sunday night, අපි පොඩි break එකක් ගන්නවා. Monday, again a class. Tuesday, again 2 hour class. Wednesday, again, you can learn a system. Or Thursday, again 2 hour class. Right? Exam එක දක්වාම අපි මේ විදිහට classes කරනවා. Okay, so that's the thing. So you can communicate with me through this WhatsApp. uh, I think that's better. Okay. Okay, let's draw with me. මාත් එක්කම අඳිමු. නිකම්ම බලන් ඉන්න එපා. මේක මතක තියාගන්න. So this is the Bowman's capsule. This is that glomerulus. Actually, this is highly convoluted more than this. Okay. මේක ඔයගොල්ලන්ට තේරුම් ගන්න පහසු වෙන්න මම මේ විදිහට හැන්දේ. So there's a very thin layer of epithelium. So this is simple squamous epithelial tissue. පොඩි cell layer එකක් තමයි තියෙන්නේ. And another cell layer exists here. එතකොට ඒ cell එක පැහැදිලි කරන්න අපි single blood vessel එකක් අඳින්න ඕන close way යන. Okay. So it's impossible to mention here. මම උත්සාහ කරන්න මේ විදිහට පෙන්නන්න. හරි. I expand. So I make this straight blood vessel එක straight කරනවා. Okay. Now this is blood vessel. I'll use the red color for that. Look at this red color. That's also single cell layer. තනි සෛලස්තරයක් තමයි එකේ තියෙන්නේ. Due to the high pressure created here, so this is apparent arteriole that brings blood towards the glomerulus. So what's this? Glomerulus. Glomerulus. And so this is what glomerulus. So you can observe this Bowman capsule's outer wall, a thin layer of cell. Due to high pressure, blood starts to be filtered into the Bowman's capsule. Okay, that starts to filtered into this Bowman's capsule. After it is filtered, we call it what? Glomerular filtrate. We call it glomerular filtrate. Okay. Okay, take it down as a title. So we have to write the constituent there. So what this? This apparent arteriole, and what are the constituents here? Okay. So what are the constituents here? So you have to list them down. You have to list down the constituents in this glomerular filtrate. මේ glomerular filtrate එකේ තියෙන දේවල් මොනවද? As well as what are the things in apparent arteriole. මේ apparent arteriole එකේ තියෙන blood වල මොනවද තියෙන්නේ? What are the things in apparent arteriole? So what are the things in apparent arteriole? So what are the things in apparent arteriole? Another thing, so what are the constituents that exist in this apparent arteriole? Apparent arteriole එකේ මොනවද තියෙන්නේ? ඒතර මෙන්න මේ කියන දේවල් ඔයගොල්ලෝ දැනගෙන ඉන්න ඕන. හරි. So here you have to write all the constituents. Let's write. මොනවද පුතේ මේකේ තියෙන්නේ? මේකේ තියෙනවා water. Again, blood cells or blood corpuscles. So what are the blood corpuscles? The corpuscles, red blood cells or erythrocytes. Red blood cells, we call that RBC, red blood cells or erythrocytes. Then WBC, white blood cells, platelets. So this is what exists as blood cells. Next, Mickey, blood plasma, plasma proteins. Plasma proteins. Plasma proteins. What are the plasma proteins you come across? Monothin plasma proteins, albumin, globulin, and fibrinogen. Albumin, globulin, fibrinogen exist in this apparent arteriole. So we have to compare නම කියන්නෙත් නෑ A වල සහ B වල තියෙන constituents මොනවද කියලා ඇහුවොත් අපිට හැකියාව තියෙන්න ඕනනේ කියන්න. හරි? ඒකට හොඳ knowledge එකක් ඕනේ. මේ කටපාඩම් කරලම නෙමෙයි. ඔයගලන්ට යම් දැනුමක් තියෙන්න ඕන. So in this B, මේ B වල මොනවද තියෙන්නේ? හරි. අපි බලමු. So the things filtered here is very light particles or molecules are filtered. That heavy particles cannot be filtered because it's somewhat bigger. එයා ලොකුයි නේ filter වෙන්න බෑ. හරි. කවුද මේගොල්ලන්ගෙන් ලොකු කට්ටිය? හරි? මෙන්න මේ red blood cells, white blood cell, platelets වගේ blood corpuscles, so they are bigger. And plasma proteins, so proteins are huge because they are globular proteins, so they cannot move through this plasma membranes. මේ බලන්නකෝ මේ තියෙන්නේ cells නේ. cells හරහා යනවා නම් පුතා plasma membrane එක හරහා යන්න ඕනේ. So they must go across plasma membrane. Plasma membrane is very small, very thin, and it is made up tiny that fat cells. We call that phospholipids. Okay, phospholipids වලින් හැදිලා තියෙන්නේ. ඉතින් ඒක ගැන අපි ඉගෙන ගන්නවා වෙනම single and Nicholson's fluid mosaic model කියලා A level කරද්දී ඔයගොල්ලන්ට ලැබෙයි. දැනට උනත් ගහන්න පුළුවන් ඔයගොල්ලන්ට මේ YouTube එකේ හරි කමන්නේ fluid mosaic model කියලා ගැව්වම ඔයගොල්ලන්ට දකින්න පුළුවන් මේ fluid mosaic model එකේ. ඒ කියන්නේ plasma membrane එක කොහොමද හැදිලා තියෙන්නේ කියන කාරණේ. හරි? ලස්සන animation එකම තියෙනවා. Okay. So the main thing is these thin and small molecules so only can filtered through this plasma membrane. So huge molecules like plasma proteins cannot move across this cell membrane. Okay, so next things here, water, blood cells, plasma proteins, and unwanted things, excretory products. So excretory products are the unwanted compounds produced by the biochemical reactions that happens in the body. Okay, so they are known as metabolic activities, two types, anabolic and catabolic. Okay, So excretory products urea, as you learned, uric acid, creatine, and creatinine. Okay, so these are the things that exist in A. A means apparent arteriole. So after filtering these small things, only large molecules exist here, including blood cells. So what exists here? මේ B වල අන්තර්ගත වෙන්නේ මොකක්ද කියන එක. So what are the things in this B? What are the things remain in B? B වල මොනවද තියෙන්නේ කියලා ලියාගමු. So plasma proteins. So you cannot see that, no? Okay, I'll write here. So that's B. Where's the camera? No, it's okay. It's a B. Okay, that's the apparent arteriole. So what are the constituents here? What are the constituents there? Okay, blood cells. Hey, blood cells වලට මේ හරහා filter වෙලා යන්න බෑ. So blood cells cannot be filtered through these thin cell layers, cell membranes. Okay, so they cannot membrane. Two cell layers exist here, and in a single cell what exists plasma membrane. So blood cells cannot move through the cell membrane of another cell. Okay, so that blood cells. Next one, plasma proteins. So you can simply understand, except blood cells and plasma proteins, all other constituents are filtered into this glomerular filtrate. එහෙනම් මේ blood cells plasma protein හැරුණාම අනිත් ඔක්කොම filter වෙනවා මේ glomerular filtrate එකට යනවා. හරි. එහෙනම් මේ ක්‍රියාවලියට මොකක්ද කියන්නේ? So this process is known as process ultrafiltration. That process is known as ultrafiltration. Ultrafiltration. What does it mean by ultra? Ultra means extremely small. So extremely small particles are only filtered here. That particles are molecular level, so they are only filtered. Therefore, this process is known as which filtration? Ultrafiltration. Okay, now you know. So what are the things here? Blood cells, plasma proteins. And now take what were earlier, except blood cells. Okay, so blood cells හැරුණාම plasma proteins හැරුණාම අනිත් constituents ඔක්කොම then glomerular filtrate එකේ තියෙනවා. Including the most essential parts like end products of the food digestion උත් තියෙනවා. ආහාර ජීර්ණයේ අන්තඵලත් මේකේ අන්තර්ගතයි. So what we have to do? එහෙනම් මොකක්ද කරන්න ඕනේ අපි? එව්ව ආපහු absorb. So we have to reabsorb them. We have to reabsorb. හරි. ඔයගොල්ලන්ට ඕනම වෙලාවක ප්‍රශ්නයක් අහන්න පුළුවන්. WhatsApp message එකක් දාන්න. හරි. Okay, my next question. So what are the constituents that exist in this glomerular filtrate? මේක කටපාඩම් කරන්න දෙයක් නැහැනේ. හරි. මේ ලිස්ට් එක කොහොමත් අපිට මතකයි හිතලා ලියා ගන්න පුළුවන්. ඒකෙන් ලොකු දෙන්න blood cells, plasma proteins හැරුණාම අනිත් ඔක්කොම මේ අල්ට්‍රා ෆිල්ට්‍රේෂන් කියන මේ පෙරෙන ක්‍රියාවලියේදී ග්ලොමෙරුලර් ෆිල්ට්‍රේට් එකට යනවා. එහෙනම් මේ දෙන්න හැරුණාම ඔක්කොම ලිස්ට් එක අපිට මෙතන ලියන්න ඕනේ. හරි. අපි බලමු මොනවද ඒව කියලා. water ඔක්කොම ටික යනවා. okay water and next large amount of water filters. So next, plasma protein, no. Red blood cells, no. Excretory products, yes, they move. And another most important end products of the food digestion, end products of the food digestion. Okay, that means glucose, fatty acids and glycerols, amino acids, so they exist here. Okay, as well as unwanted things, excretory products exist. Excretory products. Excretory products. So, essential ions, essential salts, those things exist. Essential ions, essential salts, and these things exist. ඉතින් මේ වගේ self study එකක් හැමෝම කරන්න ඕනේ මේ O level exam එකට යන්න කලින් සිස්ටම් කොම ගැන. මම සෙට්ටම දන්න දේ තමයි මොකක්ද කරන්නේ නේ මේක ඔගොල්ලොත් මේ ගුරුවරයාගෙන්ම ගොඩ යන්න තමයි හුඟක් වෙලාවක බලන් ඉන්නේ. ඉතින් මගේ ඩියුටි එකනේ ඔන්න මම කරනවා. හරි? Okay. So I think just take a print screen. සමහරව නෝට් එක ලියනවත් එක්ක මේක හුඟක් හොඳයි. මේකට තමයි හුඟක් වෙලාවට බැරුව යන්නේ. So you have to learn that. So the first step of the filtration process is ultrafiltration. බලන්න දැන් යූරින් විදිහට යනවා මේව ඔක්කොම ආපහු ගත්තේ නැත්තම්. හරි? මෙතනින් ඔක්කොම යූරින් විදිහට තමයි යන්නේ. So we have to reabsorb the most important things have to be reabsorbed. මේ end products of the food digestion එහෙම එව්වත් මේකේ තියෙනවා. water තියෙනවා. නේ? Minerals, essential salts, essential ions. So they have to be reabsorbed. Okay? තෝරලා බේරලා තමයි ආපහු ගන්න. Okay? So we have to selectively reabsorb them. Therefore, the next step is named to be selective reabsorption. වරණීය කියන තෝරා බේරගෙන absorb කරගන්නවා selective reabsorption. ඉතින් ඒ කොටස පැහැදිලි කරන්න මේ diagram එකකින් බෑ. අර කලින් අඳපු diagram එක මට ආපහු අඳින්න වෙනවා. ඒක අපරාධනේ ආයි අඳින්න වෙනවා කියන එක නෑ එහෙම අපරාධ කියලා එකක් නෑ. හරි? අපිට දෙයක් ඉගෙන ගන්න ඕන නම් ඒක අපි මහන්සි නොබලා කරන්න ඕන. Okay, good. මේක අපි ගිය අවුරුද්දේ බලාගෙන හිටියයි කියලා. හැබැයි ලේසි එකක් ආවේ heart එක. හරි? heart එක ආපු හින්දා දැන් heart පාඩම කරනවා කිව්වත් ළමයි ඉන්නේ. හරි? පුළුවන්කමකට නෙමෙයිනේ ආවනේ කියලා. නමුත් MCQ එකට එනවා. heart කියන්නේ දැනගෙනම ඉන්න ඕන දෙයක්. හරි. මම මේකේ කොටසක් මෙතනම අඳින්නම්. හරි? එතකොට ඔයගොල්ලන්ට මේ පැහැදිලි වෙනවා. So in this glomerular filtrate, so what's this? Proximal convoluted tubule. Okay, I'll use the red color. this apparent arteriole is coming like this, and it moves closer to this. Okay. When they are moving closer to these tubules, okay, that's tubules means proximal convoluted tubules. හරහා යනකොට දැන් අර වැදගත් ඒවා මෙතනින් ගියානේ. ඒවා ආපහු ගත්තේ නැත්නම් යූරින් වලට එකතු වෙලා පාස් අවුට් වෙනවා. So they have to be reabsorbed. ඒවා ආපහු absorb කරගන්න ඕන. So we have to reabsorb them. So what are the things to be reabsorbed? මෙන්න මේ ප්‍රශ්නේ අහනවා. Things to be reabsorbed. Things to be reabsorbed. අවශෝෂණය කරගත් ප්‍රතිශෝෂණය. Reabsorb. නැවත absorb කරන්න ඕන දේවල්. No doubt. End product. End products of the food digestion. ආහාර ජීර්ණයේ අන්තඵල end products of the food digestion have to be reabsorbed. End products of the food digestion have to be reabsorbed. So that means amino acids, glucose, so that fatty acids and glycerols. So fructose sometimes, because glucose as well as fructose are produced in the digestion of sucrose. Okay, sometimes lactose, they have to be reabsorbed. Next thing, 92% water. Okay, so that water is reabsorbed. මේ water absorb කරන ප්‍රමාණය තීරණය කරනවා තවත් හෝමෝන් එකකිනුත් නේ. So that is controlled. Antidiuretic hormone. Antidiuretic hormone. So we learned that it in homeostasis lesson. අපි homeostasis කියන පාඩමේදී මේක ඉගෙන ගත්තා. Okay. Okay. So what next? Reabsorbed. End products of the food digestion, especially water, minerals, essential ions, essential salts, and ions. So they are to be reabsorbed. Reabsorbed කරන්න ඕන. And remaining things, so they are added to the urine. මේ urine වලට එකතු වෙන්නේ මේ ඉතුරු වෙන දේවල්. From where water is reabsorbed. වතුර reabsorb කරන්නේ මොකෙන්ද? බලමු WhatsApp message එකක් දාන්න. මොනවාගෙන්ද water reabsorb කරන්නේ කොතනින්ද කියන එක? I have taught you that. මම කියලා දීලා තියෙනවා. Okay, so these things are reabsorbed and selectively reabsorbed. So we call this reabsorption process selective reabsorption. Okay, next things, to these tubules, some of things are secreted. So what are the things secreted? So some of potassium like ions are secreted. So next step is secretion. Third step is secretion. secretion. Good. එතකොට මට කියන්න ස්ටෙප්ස් මට හැවුන් නැති වුණාට කමක් නැහැ. Practice කරන්න. There are three steps of this filtration process in kidneys. One is ultrafiltration. Second one, selective reabsorption. Next one, secretion. Okay, so these are the three steps of this filtration process. ඉතින් අද මම හුඟක් මේ ලෙසන් එක කරනවටත් වඩා මම දන්නේ මේ YouTube streaming it's this is my first experience මම මේක කියන්න ඉතින් ලොක්කුමක් නෙවෙයිනේ නේද මේක හංගන්න දෙයක් නේ my first experience first live program is this okay මේක කොහොමද ඇහෙන්නේ පේන්නේ මොනවද මන් දන්නේ හරි එතකොට අනිත් දවසේ අනිවාර්යයෙන්ම මේක කරනවා නම් මට තව මොනිටර් එකක් තියාගන්න වෙනවා ප්‍රිවිව් එක ගන්න. So thank you for joining with me. හරි තව ගොල්ලන්ගේ තියෙන දේවල් ප්‍රශ්න මාගේ තියෙන අඩුපාඩු මේකේ තියෙන දේවල් ඔක්කොම මට එවන්න මොකද Zoom වගේ නෙමෙයි මේක ටිකක් වෙනස්. Okay. So thank you so much being with me and have a nice night. එහෙනම් හෙටත් පැයක් කරනවා ඕගොල්ලෝ එක සජෙස්ට් කරන්න මොකද සිස්ටම් එක කියලා. Okay. Mole calculations එතකොට තව තියෙන physics calculations ඒව නම් අපි හදලා practice නමුත් ආයෙත් කරනවා. හරි හැමදාම. Okay. So have a nice day. Goodbye. Have a nice night. Okay.